my ex-boyfriend used to buy me things to compensate for his love. So there goes my trigger point. So I realized that you really have trauma, Nathalie, because when he would buy you stuff, you still knew he didn't like. Love is an action.
There it is.
It's experience.
Yeah.
So if you're doing things that's not of love, the way God loves me, then this material item is not going to make up for the love that I desire from you. Because my parents love me.
I never imagined my public healing would inspire others to heal across the world.
I thank you for using him to reach the world with a message of hope in relationships.
But your life does not.
God, you are my publicist. We laugh. We share the unadulterated truth.
He said, not only have I not divorced you, I ain't exposed you.
Oh! We didn't marry fans, we married forever. And we wanted forever to act like a fan.
Reveal her, Jesus.
I will not compromise on getting a woman of God.
You don't have to.
And Father, I declare for his future wifey, thank you for preserving her.
This season, I declare miracles and manifestations.
Then you selling scripts.
And you're unique. You ain't like nobody else. I noticed that right away. You being true to who you are, you're going to attract. It's a Hebrew word, hayil, and it was translated wealth, and it means people, it means men, it means resources, and it means means.
I'm Lateris R. Whitfield, and this is the Dear Future Wifey podcast.
Welcome to the Dear Future Wifey podcast. I'm your host, Lateris R. Whitfield. Listen, are you still shacking up with us? If you're still shacking up with us, come on, can we make a commitment? Hit that subscription button and subscribe. Make sure you turn on your notification bell so we'll be notified about upcoming episodes. And if you're listening to us on streaming platforms like Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, or whatever streaming platform you listen to us on, make sure you leave us a review if it allows you to. And season 6 has been absolutely amazing. I've been getting so many DMs from you guys. I've been reading all the comments. Y'all are finding so much value in this season. As y'all know, I affectionately nicknamed this season Miracles and Manifestations. Now, why? Is because I'm expecting God not only to do great exploits in my life, but I pray that the things that you are faithing God for, that he releases it into your life and you experience the abundant life in every category of your life. And so y'all know I'm very strategic in the people that I bring on the podcast, and this person is with no exception. So welcome to the Dear Future Wifey podcast, my new homie, Nathalie Nicole. What's up?
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Are you gonna behave yourself today? Are you gonna behave yourself?
I mean, you already know.
So listen, y'all. So Nathalie, her publicist reached out to me about having on the podcast, and so she sent this beautiful pitch deck, and I read it, and it was talking about all the money that Nathalie makes, all the success that she's had, and I'm like, la 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 la. I said that all that stuff she belongs on Anthony O'Neill's podcast because of her great success, and his podcast is about money and stuff like that. But it was the last paragraph that caught my attention, which is the paragraph where you were talking about coming to the age where at the age of 35, women have to really get very intentional on whether or not they want to have kids. And you've experienced so much success in this area of your life and this other area of your life where you really have no control over, which is love. Women don't have control over a guy proposing to them or getting married and all that. You have control over whether you accept it or not, of course.
Right.
And, you probably experienced those type of things. But the reality is having kids and doing it God's way is literally out of your control per se. So that's what resonated with me. I said, here's this woman that's extremely successful, but the thing that she has to, be self-aware of is having kids and whether or not she wants to have it. So I said, I want to talk to this young lady. And so I came across your IG probably about a year ago.
Wow.
Yeah, you popped up in my news feed. I said, who's this girl? I said, she kind of cute. And I looked at her and I was like, oh no, she costs too much.
He's starting.
Shots fired. I said, it's like she costs too much. I said, she running around here posting videos in front of her Lamborghini SUV. I said, I don't know if I can pay for the gas in that thing. Then I started looking at you where you drip down and designer everything from head to toe. I was just like, yeah, she one of them type of girls. And I talked to you about that in our 2 hour. So we had our pre-interview call, right?
Right.
And it was supposed to be 30 minutes, and we cracked up for about 2 hours.
It
and
was good.
you said, Lateris, I want you to say that on the podcast.
I do.
Why did you want me to say that?
Well, first, I want to say thank you so much for just what you're doing for God's people. When I really got a chance to look at your podcast and the movement, I was honored to be on here. And for the very reason of what you're saying, because social media is just one part of my life.
Exactly.
Right? So I love Jesus. I love him with my life. And I feel like as I've loved him throughout my years, I grew up in the church, I had to develop my own relationship with him.
Yes.
And come into my own identity.
Right.
And that has a major role in how I show up on social media. Because there was a point in my life where I was struggling on, do I dress like a nun? And I don't like that. Or do I own me? And do I own Nathalie? Am I okay with people judging me? And then I realized that I am okay with that. And it took me 35 years, honestly, to love myself like authentically, wholeheartedly, and be okay with whoever stays in my life,
yes,
whoever doesn't want to be in my life, whoever wants to do business with me, whoever doesn't want to do business with me, whoever wants to be my friend, whatever that looks like, because I trust God.
Good. And that's why we called this episode Trusting God.
Yes.
Because one thing that I learned from you in that 2 hour conversation is how much you genuinely love God. I said, what you know? You saying scriptures? You know the word? Like, where's all this coming from? I said, what is this? And you was like, no, this is who I am at the core. He said, social media may be one thing, but this is who I am. And I said, and then the fact that you said, you didn't get defensive. You're like, what you think? You didn't get mad about what my preconceived notions of you were. Actually, you even said, yeah, I went and cleaned up some of my pictures that I posted, and I took some of my posts down because where I'm at in this stage in my life, I want to show more of who I am.
Yes.
And I said, oh, you're self-aware, and I can respect that. And so this woman that we see today, how is she different from the woman that evolved from the pictures, quote unquote, that you said you had to take down then?
So the pictures I took down was more material stuff, because it was still Nathalie that's on my page right now. But in all honesty, and this has to do with my dating life and everything, just my love life, I feel like social media, it gives people the opportunity to put you in a box.
Yes.
And they say, well, she likes this, she likes that. But how is that? But I'm going to say this to you because I had to really relearn some things. I believe that we deserve wealth. And we deserve to live heaven on earth. I believe that we shouldn't have to suffer.
I agree as well.
So when I was able to really work and make money as an entrepreneur, I've been an entrepreneur all my life, I was chasing money. And I thought chasing money and making money was going to solve all my problems.
Yeah.
So what happened was, when I was able to generate a lot of income from network marketing specifically, we was in the house in the pandemic. And what I did was I misused God's money. I bought material things because I thought that was the thing to do for so long. Don't get me wrong, I like nice things.
Of course.
But nice things do not make me.
Yes.
So in my mind, I was buying these things because I could afford it. But in my heart, did I really need it? And did I really want it?
You said you didn't know if you wanted it?
I didn't know. When I got my Lamborghini, I remember clear as day. I was in the house, and no, this is...
You didn't buy the whole Lamborghini and question if you wanted it?
I never even drove a Lamborghini.
So where'd you see one to want one?
So I'm in the house, and of course I have some influence, some friends, different people that are in my life, and they were like, the culture, do it for the culture. And I'm like, well, let's a little backstory. I grew up in a Jewish neighborhood, predominantly white.
Yeah.
My mom is Trinidadian and Guyanese. Dad's American, but really grew up, I didn't even have a bed. So my mom and dad got a divorce. And then when I got to 5th grade, we slept at my grandmother's house. And even though I went to a school that their parents were
well
married and well off, my mom was working so hard to figure it out so I can feel like I belonged. So there was a financial imbalance in my mind for a very long time. So the desire for money, it outweighed anything. So when people ask me, well, why don't I have kids? It wasn't a priority.
Mm-hmm.
why am I not married? I mean, I could be married.
You was chasing that money.
I thought that because I thought that if I don't have money, then I won't have a happy marriage. Or if I don't have money, I can't provide for my children. They didn't have to be here.
So you took on that's what males think. So a lot of men, those that are providers, they feel that way. They go, I got to go earn a certain amount of money in order for me to make my wife happy, to have kids and all that type of stuff.
And to help my husband, because if you look at the Proverbs 31 woman, she was his helpmate.
Yeah.
She went out there, she worked, she got up, and she just wasn't this soft lady that was in the house on the couch, just waiting for her man to come in the house. Like, she literally was like matching his energy. So in my mind, of course, my husband is going to be able to financially provide, but I also want to support him mentally, spiritually, financially, emotionally, like do those different things. But if I'm in the house feeling insecure, feeling like I'm not worthy or I haven't done nothing with my life, I knew my personality and I wanted to make sure that I was whole as a woman and I was able to experience some type of success. So when it is time for me to get married, I can really be in that space and enjoy it.
That's good. That's good. So here you are in the middle of the pandemic. What made you purchase the Lamborghini? Because they said do it for the culture.
So we was in the house and I was like, and I have a Range Rover too, but I literally just wanted the Range Rover. And everyone was laughing at me, like, not everybody. So my boyfriend at the time, he wasn't laughing. He was like, whatever you want to do. He was cool. But of course, everybody else was like, do it for the culture. Like, all the other girls, their rapper boyfriend bought it. Yeah. And in my mind, I'm like, well, that's good for them. Yeah. So fast forward, I get the Lamborghini. The Urus is hot at the time. I'm gonna get the hot stuff. Yeah. So I get the Urus. I like white cars. I get the car. The car comes. And when I got the car, I was like, I wasn't like, oh my gosh. So that's when the unease started to happen in my life. That's where the unhealthy habits started because I will buy things thinking that I will really enjoy it and I'll really love it, whether it's a diamond watch, whether it's a Cuban anklet, I don't even know where it's at. Like,
you don't know where it's at.
I'll be honest with you, because I realized that I've never been a materialistic person. I like nice things, and that goes a little bit deeper rooted part is my ex-boyfriend used to buy me things to compensate for his love. So there goes my trigger point. So I realized that you really have trauma, Nathalie, because when he would buy you stuff, you still knew he didn't like love is an action.
There it is.
It's experience.
Yeah.
So if you're doing things that's not of love, the way God loves me, then this material item is not going to make up for the love that I desire from you. Because my parents love me, and this is not the love that I'm feeling right now. So fast forward, as I would buy these things, I wasn't happy. Like every time I would buy people stuff. And it was just like, I thought maybe Lord, God gave me the money to buy the people the stuff. I buy my sister the stuff, my mom the stuff. I was like my dad shopping. I'll do all these different things. And I said, you know what? Something's still wrong. So now.
That didn't make you happy either?
It was temporary happiness because that wasn't making them 100% happy. You get what I'm saying? So now we are
in a cycle.
We're going into this rabbit hole of where we're using money to give us a false narrative and false hope that we're fulfilled. And I realized the real fulfillment was really asking God, hey God, what do you want me to do with this money?
Teach.
And now it's being a good steward over my money.
Teach.
So one of the great things that happened with me was that I always saved. I always made different investments or what have you based upon the income I was making. I always was working. But it came to one point where I started to feel sad. And I was like, why is this sad spirit happening? I went and got a store in the mall at the Galleria, Houston Galleria, still have a store there. And here I was as a college girl. I opened my first line when I was 22 and I was struggling to keep it open. Now I'm opening up a store inside the mall and you're still not happy? I said, okay. I said, I couldn't really put my finger on it.
Pinpoint what it was.
But it took trauma to change my life.
And let's talk about that trauma. You experienced something that was absolutely devastating that changed the course of your life. Talk about it. What happened?
I can speak about it as a victor now, but I was a victim for so long. And getting robbed at gunpoint, I didn't just get robbed of jewelry. I got robbed of my confidence. I got robbed of being a fearless woman.
Yeah.
I got robbed of my worthiness. I got robbed of my hope, my belief, just every single thing that I worked so hard to become my Jesus year, 33.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is going to be my year.
Yeah.
And then Jesus, he's, I'm going to get your attention, lady. And I'm not saying that he put that, because I still lived.
Yeah.
And instead of me looking at the glory of me living, I was angry. And I was like, God, why did I get robbed? I said, God, I'm feeding your people. I'm doing all these different things. Like, I'm a good person. Like, God, why?
Yeah.
So I start questioning God. And what happens is when you start questioning God, that's when you don't trust him.
There it is.
100%.
Talk about it.
Either you're going to trust God or you don't trust God. Because I serve one God. And the only one and only living God that has saved my life from being dead. Because I could have been dead. My mom and dad could have got a phone call saying, hey, your daughter is gone. They could have put me in the trunk, but it was nothing but the grace of God that kept me here. And when that moment happened, it took me another, like, about 9 months, maybe 9 or 12 months to just get out of my misery. And I'm talking about, Latarius, I was depressed. And I was a functioning depressed person that still made another $2 million.
So, God, give me the spirit of depression to make $2 million. Because if you can make $2 million while you're depressed, I think that would be a reason to bring you out of depression. If you,
It wasn't. It actually made me, I started self-sabotaging.
How did you do that?
I stopped working. I stopped, wanting to work. The money just kept coming. And I was like, money is bad. I said, money, is the root of evil.
Oh, because that's what caused you to get robbed.
Yeah, so I was like, I said, God. So then I had a lot of triggers. So I was watching the news and Instagram. It was everything was very triggering because everyone was chasing money. So I was like, if they only knew.
Yeah.
That's what my mindset was like. Y'all crazy. Then I got on a television show that's a whole nother story where
you did do that reality show.
And it was that was the icing on the cake. If something was going to send me out this world, that right there was because money allowed me to not work. I was still I still was in network marketing doing the bare minimum. Yeah. But the work that God planted inside of me, when you're working when you're not working. Of course. And
they call that quiet quitting.
Exactly. It was quiet quitting.
Yeah.
And he was dealing with me. He was I'm talking about he was fighting for me. God was fighting. It was days where I didn't want to live. And I don't get it. I don't get as emotional because I have so much strength now. But there's so many people that look at my life throughout that time and they probably didn't know what I was going through because I was showing up for the people. So after showing up for the people, I said, Nathalie, it was January 1st, 2022. I said, we got to do something different. We got to do something different. I said, you got a condo in Miami. You have a house in Texas. You're in a relationship, but you're not really present because you're fighting for your own life right now. You're not happy. No one really knows what's going on in your life. You have a problem. Either you are going to just quit and let the enemy take your life, because that's serious.
Yeah.
Because people look at people that commit suicide like they don't love Jesus. They're in a dark place. Yeah. And they're trying to get out this place. Yeah. Now, they're tugging. Yeah. The Birkin bag can't save you.
Nope.
The Lamborghini couldn't save me.
Yeah.
It was me knowing that God loves me so much.
There it is.
And he died on the cross for my sins.
There it is.
And I had to understand that he needed me to survive. And I was literally a living sacrifice for real. And he wanted me to understand, Nathalie, this money is for us to create a legacy. For you to be able to show other young girls that you don't have to have a baby out of wedlock. Yep. You don't have to be a statistic. You don't have to settle. You don't have to worry about when you're going to have a baby or force a situation that's not there. Yep. You have to trust me. And I'm not saying I'm perfect now, but my level of trust, me and God, we locked in for life. Because now I know.
Y'all been through a lot. You've been through so much. You told me that it got so bad in your depression, you would literally just keep all the lights on in the house.
Oh, listen. I don't regret anything because everything happened for a reason to help me become the woman I am today. But I'll never forget, I was in the shower and my boyfriend at the time, we were living together, and he's on the road doing music, and he comes back, of course, but I don't know, he might have went to the cleaners, and it was probably 5 minutes after he left to go to the cleaners. And in my mind, there was a whole episode of he went out the garage, somebody pulled in, and went through the back door, and that was the noise I was hearing while I was in the shower. So imagine not being able to take a shower in peace. Imagine not being able to be on live. Like, I'm going upstairs. I had a whole podcast studio. I'm going upstairs. I'm locking the door, and I'm mad that it doesn't lock because it's like a Jack and Jill bathroom. And I'm like, oh, no, I'm not going to be in here anymore. So I literally was not trusting God. I was not understanding that he was covering me. He's protecting me. And I was going through a real warfare.
So what was it about being downstairs in the podcast studio that made you afraid?
It was the whole house. It was locking the door. It was. I just thought somebody broke in all the time. So we lived on the lake, and it was a big. I'm talking about what I prayed for. I have it. What I prayed for. I used to live in a 600 square foot. Oh, I don't know, God. I used to live in a 600 square foot apartment. I used to sleep on the floor at my grandma's house. So to be in a house and be in a position where God was blessing me, but I'm scared.
You're in fear.
And I'm looking outside like, is somebody watching me? I'm talking about I'm running to get water in the kitchen, running back to the room, locking. I'm talking about I'm in our bedroom, locking the door, making it dark. It was rough.
So when you look, how long were you in that dark space, that space of, and it comes back as far as fear, it's different stages of it where you start shedding it off. But how long were you at the height of fear where you were paranoid like that?
For all of 2021, so probably about 2 years.
Really? Fear. I'm talking about paranoia where you thinking somebody following you, thinking somebody doing something like that.
So almost like a full 2 years. Like, I'm just coming out of it. It's like, example, if I'm at the airport and someone says, because social media, people know you from there.
Yeah.
And that's God's gift. Social media is God's gift that he gave us, right? I'm not supposed to be fearful of someone saying, Nathalie, like abruptly like that. But they don't know my trauma.
Yeah.
But it's like that. It's like goes a little bit, not anymore though. So I was like that for 2 years. I'm now like, if anyone meets me, I'm like, hey girl, let's take a selfie at my own store. I love my culture. I love all nationalities. I love Black people. But I was scared of Black men for a little bit that looked a certain way. And I didn't want to be like that. But when a Black man ran into my store like abruptly, maybe just to talk to me to say I'm beautiful, I would get scared. I'm like, I'm about to get robbed. So, of course, I'm licensed to carry, but 2 Black men robbed me. And I didn't think that was going to happen. So I had to like really do the work. And I said, you know what, God, if I'm going to live this life, I'm going to live this life going out with a bang. And not a bang on the physical realm, on the spiritual realm. Me tapping into my spiritual Nathalie Nicole Smith. Why are you here on this earth?
Yes.
If you live life every single day on purpose, you will fear nothing. But if you're living life not feeling like you're fulfilled and you don't feel good, no, like that's why he died on the cross for my sins. So that's why I always, and this is serious. I don't do all this on Instagram. I ain't fighting every day. So when we were talking earlier, you're like, just about what do I desire? What am I manifesting? It's like my life is a manifestation. My life is a manifestation of a little girl that desires true love, that desires true happiness, that desires to live on purpose, that desires to be a great mom, a great wife, but I trust God. So I no longer am in control of like, this is how it has to be. This is how it has to be, because when I make money, and I always have made money, but when I made all the money, it didn't work. So now I'm finally getting back into my flow. I'm back in my flow now. Now I know what I deserve. I know what I desire. And me and God, like, I no longer question where he's taking me.
See, I don't think you're back in your flow. I think you created a new flow.
I created a new flow.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you created
That's
a new
good.
flow because you're taking the lived experience of what you went through, the trauma, and you say, devil, oh, you thought you had me. Now you should have took me out when you had the chance, because now I know who I am, and now I'm fearless on a whole nother level. And you're more balanced. And that's what surprised me in the conversation that we had. I was like, Nathalie, what you talking about? I was like, I mean, it just shocked me because what was supposed to be a 30-minute conversation ended up being 2 hours on Zoom with your publicist on the line, and we just forgot that she was even on the line. And
the thing about it, I love that you said it because I'm a new woman.
Yes.
Whoever knew me before, I'm in the most humble way possible. Whatever I allowed in the past,
you ain't allowed
whether
no
it's
more.
friendships, whether it's relationship, whatever it is, I'm a new woman and I'm doing it a different way. So because I'm doing it a different way, not my way, but God's way, is nothing spooky about it. It's just my obedience and my commitment to, if I'm gonna live this life, I don't want to live without God. I don't even want to be here if I don't have God. I don't want to do it. So there's no man or no woman that can make me believe that their way is better than this way I'm going on right now.
Nathalie, have you ever been close to being married at any season of your life?
I have, but so there's points in my life where, so God knows the desires of our hearts, right?
Right.
He knows our desires, and he knows our desires not to harm us and to hurt us. He's going to protect us. But our flesh believes certain things, and our flesh sometimes gets distracted. So there were seasons in my life where I was willing to settle, knowing that I know my king is going to walk with God with me. So it is, and here's the deal. I believe that, this is my philosophy, I believe that my man, my husband is my assignment. And I believe that he's not going to just come perfect. He's not going to come perfect. And I believe that with his desire to trust God, the one and only living God, and his desire to be a renewed spirit being living in this physical realm,
right?
Together, we will continue to grow and we'll continue to get closer to God and be directed by God. So there were times in my life where I was willing to compromise when I knew the person probably couldn't cover me. And if we went through some real stuff, because the way when life happens, the way they back out or the way they act, and I look back at myself, I'm like, do I want to deal with that?
Yeah.
And for the first time in my life, and I'm gonna say this because a lot of times people are in relationships and they know either you need a break, either you need to break up. You got to do something.
Because what you're doing currently ain't working.
Because what you're doing is not working. You can't every year say, it's going to be a great year. It's going to be a good old year. You know?
This a new year, new me.
Listen,
we're gonna be better this time. We're going to be better, but you didn't do the work. Have you ever... So it was an interesting thing that I learned about you in that 2-hour conversation. That early in your life, the type of guys you were attracted to were a little sketchy. You were attracted to drug dealer guys.
Yeah. And I still think
is that because of the money thing again?
So they were solid. You know, I've just seen going to Howard University, I love my school. I just seen a lot of men not be able to handle their day in their own. So I dated this guy in high school, going to college. And when I went to college, he might be watching right now. Hey,
how you doing? Shut up.
And he was a mama's boy, and that was nice. But he wasn't handling his business. It had nothing to do with money. Then he cheated on me, and you're not handling your business, and you cheated on me, you're crazy. You know? So I'm not doing that. So at that time, I tried to do the college boy thing, and they would call their mom for money or go get a job.
Yeah.
You know? I was working.
Yeah.
Why can't you get a job?
Yeah.
So I couldn't understand it.
Yeah.
A lot of the guys that I was around, they were just privileged.
Yeah.
And I love that for them. But if why do you want to wear your mama out or wear your father out? And because they can't give it to you, now you're mad?
Yeah.
Go work.
Yeah.
So it was a mindset that I was attracted to. And then a lot of the men that were in the streets, I realized that they weren't in the streets because they just want to be cool. It was survival.
Yeah, it was survival.
So I would say maybe it was a slight trauma bond.
Yeah. Because
in my mind in college, I'm surviving and I was always working, always hustling. And then because I didn't have a lot of boyfriends. It was 2 guys I dated in 10 years that were in the streets, and we dated for a very long time. I'm talking about boyfriend. and that's the thing. Like, I'm not boy crazy. And any guy will say that. Like, I don't really I'm not going to chase you. I'm not going to keep calling you. Like, when we're done, okay, we can still be cool, like friends, whatever. What's up? But I'm not going to be begging you to love me. And I have a dad that loves me. My dad has loved me for a very long time. So that's the thing. Those guys, they were strong and they understood my spirit in that moment. Another thing about guys in the streets, they used to match my grind. So let's say I'm making like $5,000. They're going to give me another $5,000. If I'm making $10,000, because their ego wanted to outdo me.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is fun. So it was like a fun game. It was all fun. It was all fun and dandy till my life was on the line. So when my life started getting on the line, I said, oh, this is different. I said, oh, and then one time my grandmother called me. I don't know what she knew about this. She said, yeah, Nathalie, this she watches the news all the time. So I didn't watch the news. I didn't want to see anything, okay? So, because I was living my coldest winter ever. Like, that's what I was doing. So my grandma called me and was like, yeah, this woman in Upper Marlboro, Maryland, somebody abducted her in her basement. She had a tax business, but she was fooling with a drug dealer. And I'm like...
You're like, Jesus?
I said, I looked at the phone. And I'm going to call you right back. Because here's the deal. I'm in that flow now. Like, I'm like, I like this. Why are you doing this? Because God has always been in me, though. So because God has always lived in me, I always, when my spirit man wakes up,
yeah,
I snap out of it. I didn't like that.
How long did you stay in that situation after she said that, though?
So I went through a couple, and usually, like, I'm telling you, like, I really feel like God has been fighting for me for a long time. Because some situations I've been in is like, I'm talking about, I've seen my boyfriend get robbed and shot at, everything in front of me. Like, it's been crazy. Like, I've seen situations, like, I've seen my other boyfriend. So it was two boyfriends and a guy I was dating. And third one, I said, oh, no, like, this is too much. And this is just too much. The third one, it was his child's mom was acting crazy. And I was like, what is wrong? Like, and I was like, this is not it. This is not the God that loves me.
You don't want me in this?
Did not give me, no, because he kept blessing me. I was having my salon. My windows were getting busted out. I said, what is
You talking about your salon?
Listen, I was living a rough life. And like, listen, I've always spoke like this, but I don't know the drug dealers like me because I spoke proper. They knew that like I was down, but I'm like, I'm not that down. Okay? Like, I want to go. I want out. This is not death row. I'm out of here. You can have it.
You say not that down?
This is not death row. I'm out. Like, I'm not doing it because you can't control your situation. And when you're in doing things like that, you really can't control because your ego and your flesh is outweighing the reality that this is going to come to an end.
Yes.
So then I realized that most guys are in the streets until they have that come to Jesus moment.
Yep.
Because there's a lot of guys and that's the thing. If you had a lifestyle, I'm not judging you. But if you're still doing it as a grown man, we don't got to talk, but you and God have to talk. And here's another deal.
Yeah.
There's so much opportunity in the world. So when I started, like, because wisdom is everything and knowledge is power. When I start to realize the amount of wealth that there is in the world, if you work.
Yeah.
If you work, it might take a little bit. You go get your real estate license, go get your trucking, do something else. You don't have to go to college like me. But if you work and apply yourself,
you can make some money.
And if you really are obedient, it's not going to be easy. Because the streets and believe it or not, the streets is not easy.
Oh, yeah.
So to see God, so it was like, to answer your question, I took a few rodeos, and that's when I got introduced to network marketing. I needed something because I was working in the club for 10 years. So the guys that I was meeting were in the club.
Be specific what you did in the club.
I did bottle service.
Because that can come off a whole different way.
Yeah,
I was working in the club. They're like, I know Nathalie
tried
was
everything,
though.
I tried one little night. I said, oh, no, baby. Like, that ain't it. That is not it.
Why wasn't that it? Why wasn't that it?
So... I don't want to take up your time with this whole story, but God...
Now that we have these stories.
This one time, I said, you know what? The dancers are making more money than me. And I said, at the time, my boyfriend was like, he's putting this like carrot over my head, like he wasn't gonna give me the money for summer school because I didn't want to tell my mom and dad I failed school, and I was like, I got to go to summer school, but Howard was expensive. So summer school was like $9,000. Where am I get that from? That quick, right? Because I'm not willing to have sex for money. So, like, what are we going to do? Yeah. So the girls at the club, they were telling me, like, oh, you can just dance a couple nights. So never took my clothes off. And this is exclusive episode. Exclusive. I've never said this story publicly. So I remember one time I said, I'm going to do this. I went out there. I got my clothes on. I got my little bikini cute outfit on. And I said, oh, this is different. I said, I can't take my clothes off. This is not it. And I remember, God, I'm telling you, God is so good. The Rick Ross concert was in town that weekend. I would never forget his name. His name was Ricardo. Thank you, Ricardo. Ricardo was, I don't know where he is in this world now. He was from New York. He said, what you doing here? And I was like, I go to college and, like I need to pay my tuition. Every girl says that. He says, pull up your balance right now. I said, bet, give me a second. At the time, we had them old cell phones, right? I think I had like a sidekick or something. Yeah. I don't know what I had. Well, like an old iPhone. And I pulled up my balance. He said, but at that time, I brought 2 friends with me because I didn't want to do it by myself. But the 2 friends, they was getting down, okay? And I was not with it, right?
Oh, y'all danced at the private party? Y'all was at the strip club?
It was at a strip club.
Okay,
right?
So you brought them there to dance
because I didn't want to do it by myself because I was doing bartending. But
so did they dance too, or they just there for moral support?
No, they were dancing. I was talking about naked dancing. And I was like, oh, this is different. And I was like, oh, no, baby. Like, I'm good. Like, that's why no one has no footage of me because I was like,
no footage?
God, here I am again. Here I am, Lord. And
so you pulled up the balance and what he did?
What he did was, and I never seen money like that, without having to date you and, let my boyfriend put me through chaos.
Yeah.
Right? And he said, all right, he pulled out all this money. He said, get out of here. Get out of here. We exchanged numbers. We never slept together, nothing. He said, get out of here. And he said, show me a screenshot. Like,
when you
not a screenshot. He said, call me.
When you pay for it?
He said, call me and I'm going to meet up with you. And I was like, what are we going to meet up for? But call me. And he said, when you pay for it. I said, what about my friends? I always love my friends. I said, and he gave them a couple $, not the money I had. And at that moment, let me tell you what happened. Let me tell you how things worked though. At that moment, I realized that God was real.
That's all I was about to say.
I realized God was real. And I realized that wasn't going to be my story. I've never been molested in my life. I've never been raped, none of that. My parents, regardless of the financial side, they've always protected me.
Yeah.
And where I was going, he wasn't leading me in that direction. Yeah. So again, everything my mom and dad did in my young age, as I got older, it was starting to come out. I was starting to feel it. So the last situation in that space, maybe like a month later, I didn't do it. My dad called me, and I love my father. I don't even think I ever admitted this. Oh, Lord. But, oh, God. So my dad calls me, and he says, I was getting my hair done, and he says, maybe his girlfriend called me. Somebody called me. It was like, they were together. He said, were you in my Baltimore, dancing? And I'm like, Dad, no. Why would I do that? Dad, I'm in college. Dad, this is insulting. Dad, this is insulting. And I said, let me tell you this, though. One of my things I've never want to do is disappoint my parents. Mm-hmm. So thou shalt honor their parents.
Yeah.
They worked too hard
to see
me. And this again, everyone chooses a different lifestyle.
Yeah.
For me, I know better. When you know better, you do better.
Facts.
And God spared the humility. And he also the embarrassment, because I think my dad's frat brothers seen something. He was like, something what happened is his frat brothers was going there, but this girl that was about to work for my dad, I was in magazines at the time. So at the time, I'm in magazines. My dad showed the girl, this is my daughter. And yo, this is crazy. Man, may she rest in peace. She lost her life.
Really?
She was a dancer. May Tyree rest her peace. She didn't like me, and she told my dad, your daughter dances. So he's showing. I'm in the magazines,
What was the magazine doing?
Modeling. I had curly hair. It was a big time magazine, and he's showing everybody he's proud. My dad loves me so much. Like, he loves me so much. And he's so proud of me, showing the girl. And she tells him, oh, she's a dancer. And I'm going to tell you this, never again. But after that day, I did do bottle service, and I was very honest about that. I never in my life did that, honest to God. But that's where the next level of addiction to money came, because now I'm never doing that. But I know y'all girls, y'all be getting money.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to the hottest clubs, Love, H2O, Rose Bar, every hot DC club. And then my last rodeo was Stadium, which is a strip club where I did bottle service. And at that moment, God dealt with me again. I got introduced to network marketing by way of Coach Stormy Wellington. And I remember telling her, I was doing bottle service in Miami. I remember telling her, like, I don't want to do this anymore. And she's okay, how much money you want to make? I said, well, I want to make because I had my salon. Because I was doing my salon, doing hair, doing makeup, and doing bottle service. So
when you said you believe in working, you ain't lying.
I was working, and I was working so hard. But here's the deal, Azarius. God was waiting for me. He said, you can do it my way, you can do it your way. And I was working so hard to get the same thing, doing it God's way.
Yeah.
So the day I literally said, I'm going to do network marketing, total life changes, I go back home. I go one last night in the strip club doing bottle service. I'll never forget, I was in the club and I sat down. You're not supposed to sit down. You would have thought,
you were tired?
In my mind, I'm like, I got network marketing. What's up? What y'all got going on? Y'all go get your own drinks, right? So I'm sitting in the club because it's like early. Y'all go get your chicken wings from the bar, right? I'm not about to go over there. So I told the manager was like,
there you go, quiet quitting again.
Quiet quitting. So the manager was like, you need to go get up. I got up to try to get into, because we were in a corset, shorts, all that stuff. I get up, and then all of a sudden, when I look out, the girls are in flames. I said, oh, hell no. Like, the girls are in flames. Like, I don't know what type of hallucination. I don't do drugs. And I was like, oh, that's my cue to get out of here. So, mind you, my shift started at 5. I was supposed to work till 2 o'clock in the morning. It is 8 o'clock. I go in the car because I'm like, do I really want to quit? I go in my car, and my manager knocks on the door. Nathalie, what are you doing? I looked at him, and I was like, I'm going to quit. So I go inside and say, hey, thank you again for everything. But right now not today, right now will be my last day. And I never walked back into that club. And from that day on, money has never been my issue. Whether it's 6 figures, extra, whatever it is, forget the millions. All I needed was to pay my bills. And I have not lacked since that day.
Trusting God.
Trusting God and doing the right thing.
So at that young age, how old were you? You were in school during that time, so about 21, 22?
No, I was working in the bottle service for 10 years. So I started at 20 years old. I started at, 18 years old. Soon I got wet behind the ears. Soon I got to college, some guy finessed me to build a club flyer, and that's where it all began. So from 18,
you said you were on the club,
club flyers and everything.
So you was that girl that people want to post you on stuff to market.
I was that girl because I respected myself. I wasn't sleeping with men.
But I'm talking about they using your photo.
Yeah, but I'm gonna tell you this.
Modeling.
So so we live in a different age now where you can like pay to play in different things, right? Back then it was different. So even with bottle service, like I wasn't sleeping with my clients. So a lot of people wanted to hire me because I was about my business.
Yeah.
So yes, to answer your question, like whether it's flyers for the club, whether it's I had Cricket Wireless at the time. I hired all their girls. Shout out to Glenn. Like I was getting so much opportunity because I was handling my business.
That's good.
So it took me. I was chasing money for a very long time. So I'm not very like even the way people see me on Instagram now, like. I've really been doing this for a long time, like a hard life. Okay, they're like soft life. Oh, baby, it's been hard, baby. It's been real.
So when I said that you cost a lot, that wasn't inaccurate.
So it's 2 different things. anything that a man on the financial realm, financial side, whatever a man can do or desires to do, I can do for myself.
Right.
Right? I'm not expecting a man to buy me a Lamborghini. I'm not expecting a man to pay my rent. I'm not expecting a man to do these temporary things. The stuff that I yearn for now is a different taste. It's like my taste buds change.
I want you to say that because this is where I realize, because I listen to women all the time and I listen to people all the time, and you said something that was so profound that I said, oh, she the real thing at this point. Your taste change. How has your taste changed in what you desire in a man?
So, one, I do believe a man, one, he has to love God. Number one, you can't even compromise that with me. You tell me I don't believe in God, baby, I'm good. I don't care how much money you have. You can have $1 billion and say, Nathalie, here goes, I'm going to give you $3 million a month just to be with me. I'm okay. You know, because I know what God has for me is way beyond what you can give me.
Right.
That's one. Number two, you have to be confident in the direction that you're going. It doesn't mean like you know everything. Just that you feel like, you know what? I trust God enough too. I trust him. I don't know everything now. But when you start to be in that space, you have discipline. I need my man to have discipline because the streets is crazy.
Yeah.
Right? And there's a lot going on out here in these streets. And I don't need to compromise my health, my minds, my body, my spirit. I don't have time to play around with men that don't have discipline.
Yeah.
I don't have time for drama. I can't be on the phone with you all day arguing. I don't have it in me.
Yeah.
So after that, you have the desire to be financially free. Not rich. Financially free, meaning that you understand the dynamics of what money can do for us. Our legacy isn't just be a one-off of me and you or our kids, because that's the burden of desire that's going to keep us going.
Yeah.
So that's something that really is attractive to me. That's like, I love when a man like understands that. Like, wow, you're not where you want to be right now, but you trust God and you believe in yourself. The next thing that's important, because I don't believe let's say you financially could buy me stuff. Like, don't be cheap. Why can't I get those nice flowers? Like, don't tell me you don't think I like it. Like, no, you don't, you
don't think you like it.
You didn't think about it. Like, if you see perfume, and you bought yourself cologne, because that's what I do. I will buy my man stuff. It's not a tip or tat type of thing. If I'm out and I like this and I'm going to get it for myself, why not?
Yeah.
It's not like I'm not going to put you through hell to see how far. God, why? I don't want to go through hell.
Yep.
Why do you want to see if you can trust me? No, you talk to God if you can trust me. Okay? And then on top of that.
Well, have you been in those situations where God tests you to see if you with him for the money? I mean, what you mean by that? They'll test you like what?
I really don't attract those type of guys. I think that because I'm really sure of myself in the space of work. Guys, I think they like that about me. But I do believe a lot of men, I don't know why they feel intimidated by me. Because once you get to know me, and I'm hearing this a lot now, is you are literally putting me together on Instagram. But what if I did that to you? What if I said, oh, your shoes are dirty. Okay, your teeth look like this. Oh, your haircut's a little expired. What if I...
Did you say expired?
But what if he was just working hard and he didn't have time to get a haircut and maybe he's grinding, so should he not go on live or should he not grind? Because that's not right. That's being very, very surface.
What guys are seeing, like you said, you hit the nail on the head, you said intimidated. It's because when you see, and it's the rhetoric that vibrates louder than just your Instagram page. It's the pages of other women that may not subscribe to the same idea that you have, where they go, I can do it on my own. I don't need no man. I got this, I got that, I got this. And they start talking about all the stuff they have. And then men be like, well, you don't need me then. Because men need to feel needed.
So this is good.
Yeah.
So if I don't like Italian food and me and my friends are hungry and they say, well, there's an Italian restaurant, there's a Caribbean restaurant, and there's a Mexican restaurant, I'm not going to just take whatever just because I'm hungry.
Right.
When you really trust God, he's going to literally fulfill what you desire. And there was a point in my life, though, because I'm not perfect, where I was just taking it and I was allowing it. And I'm just doing it because just to fill me up at that moment.
Taking what exactly?
if I know that I'm dating a man and he's a cheater, some people will look at me like, oh, you get cheated on? Yeah, absolutely, I've been cheated on. Should I allow a man to cheat on me because he loves me and we have great dates and he's there for me, he comes to my events? Or he, like this is before even now, like at a younger age, I have to say to myself, I don't want my daughter to look at me and just say, my mom has been strong. I don't want that. Listen, for anyone that has done that, great for them. But I believe that there's billions of people on the planet. And why would I have to just settle to like fill up my little taste buds right now? If I'm hungry, I'm gonna be hungry tomorrow too. I'm always gonna be hungry. I love food, so that's just me. So I'm always gonna be hungry. So until but when I start losing weight, and this is so great, this is good because I start losing weight when I start having discipline, when I start loving myself differently, when I start realizing that everything that's going to feed my hunger at that moment, I don't need. So back to just what I desire in a man and what God has for me, my man has to be emotionally available because I believe there's so much that's going on in our lives and our culture. Like we cannot go back to when we were young.
Yeah.
Everyone has been through so much in life, including myself. But is it fair for me to live the rest of my life not feeling like I can trust men or I can't get the love that I deserve? So I have to be emotionally available to get help, to seek God, to be able to get therapy. And that's now one of that is like a new requirement. Yeah. Because here I am, because my love tank is big. Like I'm a lover. I grew up on love. Like it's nothing to do with money. Like my mom loves me. My dad loves me. Yeah. My grandma loves me. My other grandma loves me. My sister loves me. My niece and nephew loves me. So why can't I get the love like God loves me and these people that were put in my life that love me? Why should I compromise because you and your dad you never met your father and now you just feel like you got to be this man with these issues, right? You got to be this man with these issues. No, go talk to a therapist because that's not your fault. That's not your fault. And you deserve love. You deserve every single thing that has your name on it, but you got to believe you do. I can come in your life and tell you that you deserve love. I love you. Like nothing I do for you will be enough.
Right.
So that goes back to myself.
Yeah.
So I realized that I was attracting what was going on in my life. So here it is, Nathalie, you're not satisfied and you can't satisfy these people either. You're never going to be enough. This one guy that I really loved, when you get older, you be like, okay, what was that? But I loved him as a person. I'm not in love with him. I want the best for him to this day. But he told me I don't know what it is. I'm just never happy. And I'm probably not gonna get married till I'm 50. I said, I'm good off of you. We said 45 or something. I'm like, bro, now you're bro. Bro, we're not doing that.
You didn't just end it that quick, did you?
No, not like that. No, I'm a lover. So and that's another thing. I used to love others more than I love myself. Yeah. So I'm the type of person where that's why this last season of my life was so crazy because for the first time I chose myself. And it did hurt my ex-boyfriend. And to this day, I love him. I want the best for him. I love him, but I love myself more. And maybe I prepared him for his wife. I don't know. Yeah. But I have a release. There's peace in the release. So instead of me worried about who you're going to be with.
Hold on, you can't just skate over that. You said there's peace in the release.
There's peace in the release because if it's yours, see, when you're in the flow, if it's yours and then we trust God, God can spin the block. He can do whatever for you. But I'm not God. So if we're together and I'm not feeling good about myself, there's nothing you can do for me. We're not even going to put the blame. I'm not going to do that to you. I'm not going to talk about the things that I don't like about you. Let's not even talk about that. I have an issue within myself right now. So I think a lot of times in relationships, we just say, oh, this person didn't do A, B, C, and D. Yes, they didn't do those different things. But what did you do in that space too? Yeah. And I personally should have gotten therapy as soon as I got robbed. As soon as I got robbed, I should have got therapy because there was things I did in that relationship that was hurtful.
And it was based on, tied to the trauma that you went through.
Oh yeah, I was not a nice person.
Like what? What would you do?
I was just mad. I was sharp. My tone, how I'm speaking right now, even with my friends, I was just, the things I said, I didn't think about. Like, that's mean. Like, if there's life and death, it's the power of the tongue. Why aren't we watching what we say out our mouths? Do you really need to say that out your mouth, Natalie? What is that exact word that you thought about that a little bit? You knew that you was about to go spicy with it. What's the point of hurting somebody? Because that hurt now causes new trauma in their life.
Natalie, that's good. That's good. Something that you said when you did, has that episode come out yet on Anthony O'Neill's On the Table?
It didn't come out yet.
Okay.
But it's good. We can talk about it.
All right. So I'm going to say this. And I love my boy. That's my boy. He's been on the podcast. And he always asks women this question that are high achieving women and high earners. And what was that question he asked you?
You just said something. We'll circle back about high value and high achievers. Like,
you want to break that down, don't you?
Yeah, because it's like
that's a whole nother thing.
Because everyone's calling themselves high value. Like,
but what is your values based on?
And what's your value?
I know we want to talk about that.
Okay, but we'll park that. Okay,
because I have a whole thing about.
Yeah, that's a whole nother conversation. We'll talk about that. Okay, trigger.
Trigger. He said high value. What is value? What's the value system? Who created this value system?
Yeah, because you got to. Yeah. Okay, so Anthony asked me, would I date a man that's earning $42,000 a year? And my answer is yes. And here's the reason why. Okay.
He says, and if it's a school teacher? It's
a school teacher. I loved it because when I'm with a man, I believe in you. Like, I'm talking about, I would sit there and have this whole vision that God done gave me and downloaded. I got to make sure God did it, not me. But I'm like...
I see where you're supposed to go. I mean, God showed me where you're supposed to go.
I gotta hold away. Let me think about this. But if you're a school teacher, there's different levels to that, right? Because some people are counselors. You know, they're a therapist. There's so many different aspects of the education system, and then you got the folks that own the school.
Yep.
So I'm the woman that's going to empower you and believe in you so much where you're going to wake up in like about 90 days. We're going to do personal development. We're going to pray. We're going to do so much stuff to the point where you're like, yeah, my taste changed. Natalie, like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and I'm about to go back to get my master's. I'm going to go ahead and do this because I want to open up my own private school.
Yeah.
And I'm messing around. I'm a teacher at your school too. I'm going to be a guest teacher some days because I love serving and impacting. I do have a 501c3, so I love that. But in addition to that, everything big was on small. Everyone wasn't big time. We all came from somewhere. So who am I to judge somebody that might have had a career change? This person could have been in the streets. I'm just going to give you an example. Or they could have came home from prison. Or they could have just went through a hard time in life. And now they're in this space of their life. And guys that make $42,000, please don't start dating right now. Because the capacity is not there. I had to think about that, right? God already know how they're about to go.
They're like, oh, shoot, I've been believing God for her to see me. And that's all I need to see. That's confirmation.
I got you, somebody who boss network. I got you. Because I am going a new realm of woman. But I thought about that because I just thought my DM's finna go crazy. Right? But back to that is like everything. It's like, wait. You know how they go, listen, dear future wifey, your life can be solved. It's time to rest. It's time to heal.
Shots fired.
Hey, DM. Hey, Latarius, I'm the one for you.
God told me. God told me.
God told me in my sleep. Lord, lady, did you pray?
God told me that you my husband. I was like, I guess I'm supposed to be polyamorous because there's a whole lot of women that say I'm their husband. I was like, I guess I'm going to be like King David or something.
Right. No, but that's the thing. And I think that goes back to like really being intentional because, again, in this situation, we're not going to just jump off the cliff like this. No. Tell me a little bit about your past. Like, what's your work ethic? I'm going to watch you. What are your habits?
Yeah.
Do you wake up and do you have time with God? It can just even like, tell me what you do. Do you work out?
Yeah.
What's your discipline like? Because if you have these core values, You can do anything you put your mind to.
Yeah.
It's not about just, oh, you had money, you came from money. Because look at my story.
Yeah.
For me, again, I know that a lot of people say that I'm like self-made. No, I'm a God-made millionaire.
Talk about Natalie.
I'm a God-made millionaire.
Natalie, talk about
okay?
it. Talk about it.
And I want to, because people keep calling me this self-made millionaire. I'm like, I got to keep making his name great.
Teach.
Because anyone that goes from six figures, the mid six figures, to not making $1 million, but $2 million, but $3 million, but $4.3 million in a year, that was a Jesus thing.
Yeah.
That had nothing to do with my talent.
Yep.
That was literally God saying, I've been watching you. Job well done, good and faithful servant. I can trust you now. And I knew that all those times in my life where I was grinding and I was fumbling the ball, he kept, like, he had me in a chokehold. And that's when I see, like, a lot of things happen in my life where I started being obedient and I was able to, like, really redirect my life. And that's when the prosperity came. So for that person that I'm dating or I'm with, that's what I would do. I'll probably invest in the school and we'll open up a 501c3 together.
So you tell me you could actually see that in the guy, though?
Yeah.
That you're willing to, so okay, when you envision, is it a blank slate for your husband? Are you looking at it like saying, God, not my will, but let thy will be done, and you're obedient, open, and submitted to who God brings?
Okay, so it's funny. So, let's hear this. I don't believe that God put me through all this in life just to get average. I don't believe that.
I mean, what makes them average, though? You just went through a whole thing.
No, because you said a blank slate.
I'm talking about blank slate. What I mean by an open mind.
Oh, open mind.
Saying, yeah, where you're like, I don't vision, because you can, sometimes what we do, we say, God, let your will be done, but he got to be 6'5", he got to be at least making this amount of money, he got to be at least doing this, he got at least, but whoever you have in store for me.
This season is called victory, and this season will be a sweatless victory. I don't believe that God put me through so much hard work to have to just say, okay, I'm going to start dating this one person. I'm going to be intentional with this one person. Because I'm in my flow right now. So I don't think God's going to have me be distracted, because that does take some type of work. But if someone has a clean slate and he can add to the table and we can grow together, yes. But I believe this season I'm in my life, I think that miracles are about to happen in my life. That's what's going to happen in my life. And I believe that everything I've been praying for and manifesting in my life, in my career, just in my man, in my family, I believe this is the season for Nathalie Nicole Smith.
So you're open to meeting your husband right now?
Yes.
Would you be, is there a timeline in your mind where you be like, as far as, like, you know, I had the couple, you watched that episode, right? Mm-hmm. About the couple, they met on IG, got married in 5 months. Would that scare the crap out of you?
No, I watched that whole episode, but there was a flow in their engagement. And because I'm obedient, I'm paying attention. So if there's a red flag, if there's something that doesn't mean you're trash, but you're not my treasure. So it's nothing wrong with us saying, you know what, you're a great man and you deserve love, but in this season right now, you're not emotionally able to love me for what I need. So to answer your question, I am open to falling in love and all that stuff.
And getting married.
Yeah, like, I'm gonna be a great wife.
So it's no trauma. So you feel like there's no trauma that will hold you back on being loved properly by the right man.
Me getting robbed at gunpoint and me healing from that was traumatic enough for me to become a fearless woman now, to be able to trust God and be obedient. If that is my husband, and as I'm dating now, I'm paying attention. So, and I'm talking to God. Me and God are really, I'm talking about, me and God are like in a different space right now, like besties. And it feels good. It feels really good.
So you're in the season right now where you're at peace. You know who you are. You know who God is in your life. And you are truly submitted and trusting God.
I'm trusting with every area of my life. Every single area, from my health. I'm healthy, but from my health, the enemy, listen, the enemy, we don't give him no power. But I'm telling you right now, because I went through the things I went through in my life, I'm ready to fight. And it's, again, on the spiritual realm, I'm being filled up all the time because every single day things happen. As a business owner, I go through life all the time, but the enemy can't trick me. So now that I'm in this space I've never been in my life. Let's keep that 1,000. I've never been in this space in my life. I am open to whatever God has for my life.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Before we conclude, I want to go and attack that one thing that we talked about high value. Nathalie, how do you define high value?
A high value woman or man is not defined because of their money.
Teach.
Okay? One of my favorite scriptures is Galatians 5:22, and that's the fruits of the Spirit. And when I realized that my net worth and my money was putting me in a box of high value, but I didn't really have true joy, true peace, forbearance. I wasn't living like that. That did not make me high value. When you really wrap that type of love and that type of joy, that type of peace in your life, you now are living a high valued life.
All right, well, I guess you just dismantled that whole idea, huh?
Hey, we all can have it though.
Yeah.
We all can have it.
And that's why I used to get so mad at this particular guy that became very popular, God rest his soul, that will always talk about high value and this. And it gave toxic masculinity a voice, which is, if I'm making money like this and my network is this, and he talked about network, the people, if you can call up, if your friends are millionaires, right, or they making six figures, all that type of stuff, then that makes you a high value. I'm like, man, you know what I mean? Them type of guys be just tearing my homegirls up, breaking them down, make them feel like they nothing. And I'm like, that's why we have to really, truly understand what our value systems are based on. And I love that at this season of your life, you are submitted to God as the barometer of saying, God, this is where I found my value. It's not in, you told me one day that during your depression, you went and bought 3 Birkin bags. Was that just
5.
Oh, geez.
5, and it did not make me happy. Can you believe that?
So for people that don't know the average cost of a Birkin bag, can you bless the people? How much does a Birkin bag cost?
An average Birkin between listen, I got it the rush one, like where you pay like $10,000, $15,000 more on top of the price. The average Birkin bag is $25,000 to $35,000. Like, and that's literally like overpaying, which is so stupid. If I was patient, got on the list, okay, I could have got a flight to Paris,
and
stayed there for a week.
Picked it up yourself?
Yes. Oh my God.
So you said to get it rushed, it costs another $10,000, $15,000?
Man, I am not ashamed to talk about it. Judge me later if that's what you want to do, but I don't. I'm free, so I can talk about it. And when I spent it was like $25,000, $35,000 for 5 for each one, and I still wasn't happy. Oh, and that's just even one. Did I tell you about my jewelry? I lost over
$250,000.
I had, so people somebody said I have a rapper chain on. Like literally, I had all the jewelry. Like I can go buy new jewelry right now, but I don't find value in that.
Yep.
So again, I like jewelry. I like all those different things. I love gifts, but I'm not going to oh my God, I'll put that in my business. I'll put that in stuff that I need right now.
Finish the statement of what happened to all this jewelry you had.
Between leaving it in the Uber, the plane, or me closing my eyes and somebody stealing it, I have all these different stories in my head that happened to it. My jewelry got stolen. My jewelry got stolen.
She had a bag and you was catching the plane, you was catching the flight, and somehow between the Uber, the airport, and the plane, that bag came up missing.
But I'm gonna say something I'm not gonna say, and I'm gonna tell you the truth. That was another test from God. Nathalie, and the way I handle it was like a G. Nathalie, that doesn't make you. I had all the big, I'm talking about the nice tennis, the tennis, the necklace, yours was nice.
Yeah, tennis,
I had the
necklace.
big rocks that, I'm talking about the one that the rich wives be getting. I bought it myself. I had that.
You said the rich wives.
Yes. Then my ex-boyfriend bought me this nice piece. I had a lot of stuff. Anklets. Man, you'd have thought I was listen. I was doing my big one. And then I was like, you're doing your big one for who? Because at the end of the day, you're really dope without those different things.
Exactly.
It doesn't make you. So that's where, when it goes down to just my values, I realize I can have it all though. I can still have those things, but that cannot be my God. I cannot put that as my God.
There it is.
It doesn't make me, and it's not going to break me.
See, this woman, like I said, I hit the nail on the head when I saw you over a year ago, and I was like, nah. This woman is different from that woman.
Totally different woman.
This woman promoted herself a different way versus this woman who's promoting God.
Yeah.
So it's a difference. And so it's because I can just see the spirit. It's a spirit shift from when I saw you over a year ago and versus this spirit that has showed up today. It's a totally different person. And remember I said this to you. No, I'm going to let you finish. You were about to say something, and I'm going to hit you with what I said to you on that call today.
No, it was two things I was going to say that I want to tell you, because I know the viral moment that you had where it's like, you know the sound of a wife.
Oh, yeah.
So I will say this. The same way how a man knows the sound of a wife, a woman knows the sound of her husband. And I'm going to go a little bit deeper. A woman knows when she is a wife. I lived these 35 years of life knowing that wasn't a responsibility I wanted to step into yet. I knew there was a work that God was doing in me. And I knew that he loved his son so much, he wasn't going to let my physical attributes distract his son to let a Nathalie that's not whole yet come into his life and distract him from his destiny.
Teach. So
God had to work in me and on me so I can know my own sound. And the flow that I have now, and just, man, like I'm telling you, the peace I have in my life right now, and just the confidence I have in where I'm going, I literally I feel safe. And I thought that a man had to make me feel safe. Yes, you do want to feel safe for your husband, but do you feel safe with God?
Teach.
And where I'm at in my life right now, I want every single woman, whether she is single, whether you're a mom, whether you're in a marriage and you know you did that by flesh, whether you are married and you know you're not.
Talk to him right there in the
whether
camera.
Whether you are married, you're not showing up as a wife. Don't let it go over your head. We know what we be fighting inside. Take a moment and love yourself. It took me 2.5 years, to go on this pursuit of self-love and Nathalie Nicole, not defining myself as social media Nathalie Nicole. But when it's all said and done, I came here with no makeup. I love myself. I love every aspect of myself, with hair, with edges, with ponytails, with just the flesh of Nathalie and the spirit of Nathalie mixed together is the sound of a wife. And now I can live in this space in confidence. I can live in this space not needing validation from man or woman. I can live in this space not feeling like I'm being rejected, but knowing that rejection is God's protection for my life, and knowing that God gave me this one life here on earth, and he promised me heaven on earth. So if you really believe that in your heart, like, listen, Mark 11:24 says, whatever you ask God for in prayer, and believe it in your heart, not just you ask God and you don't believe it, because God knows if you believe it. When you ask God for this specific thing, all the things, and believe it in your heart, it's already done. But that already done is the wait season. It's seed time and harvest. So if I live my life and I plant my seeds on fertile ground, and if I trust God and I do the work, because faith without works is dead. If I do the work in this season, I know for a fact that my heaven on earth will come. So trust your process, trust God, believe in yourself, love yourself for real in this season, because you have this one life to live.
So you're gonna just preach?
You
just gonna preach?
I felt led to talk about that because since this is the day after Valentine's Day, and I remember being that woman that like thought to myself, oh man, I remember being in a relationship, and I remember saying to myself, like, I deserve this. And I'm going to show you how to treat me. Listen, when it's in them, it's in them, right? And Valentine's Day is when someone really loves you, they don't have to really think hard on Valentine's Day because they're showing, maybe you don't got to wreck your brain for me. And that's the thing, when you say like, I look a certain way, stop wrecking your brain. Stop. just put too much.
I just noticed that you don't have makeup on.
No, I've been doing makeup for so long. I do very minimal stuff now. When I came from the airport, I had no makeup on.
Yeah.
I filter or no filter. Like people were like, well, you wear a filter. Filters are cute because I like the filter, but without a filter, I still rock on myself.
She said, let's be clear now.
Let's be very clear.
Without a filter, I'm a pool. That's what she said.
Shout out to NN Beauty because I take care of my skin, but let's hear it. My entire skin, my edges done grown back. My edges done grown back. Can you believe it? Like I had very curly hair, and when I was going through, because when you're stressed out, your hair starts falling out,
breaking.
And I was like, I looked at my hair one day. I was like, what is happening? And oh no! Then I tried to put a little baby hair on the side. There was no baby hair. I said, oh, time to reevaluate. So now people are like, well, why are you wearing your ponytails? Because I love every aspect of myself. If I wear a frontal ponytail, like I don't like. Can you love me like that?
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at.
There's so many things I want to say. I'm gonna say this story. This is funny because I cried laughing on this, and I do not want to deprive the audience of this story.
Oh God.
There was a time that Nathalie tried to get lipo.
Oh Lord Jesus, this is good. Oh my God.
What happened with your experience of lipo?
Man, like God wasn't letting up, okay? Why can't I be the fine girl that just gets it and like, so what happened was I got lipo, body sculpting, and what happened when I went to get it, and I post this photo, make sure the day of, I already was really fine. Like I'm not trying to be funny, like my mom's daddy, a nice body. And my boyfriend at the time, he was in the streets, and I seen everybody like doing they big one. And I was like, I want my big one. And I think I put him through some type of hell in hot waters. And I was like, I need this money. Okay. And he gave me the money. And, I went to the doctor. And the doctor said specifically, you don't need this. I never had children yet. He said, we don't even know where to grab the fat. And I was like, and he said, in your butt, he's like, you already have a really nice butt. So what he did was, I still did it, and he made me have this. He did the contour where it had this like shelf where like it looked like
a seat on the top of your
behind.
Oh
God! All right, it was because I already had a butt, so he didn't know what to do. Instead of just forfeiting it, he just said, "Baby, let me just put the little fat on the top." So baby had this little butt, and I'm about to say this so I can show y'all because So let me tell you what happened. So here I am, fine. I already was a nice shape or whatever. So what happened was when I got robbed, God said, all right, lady, put the mic up. Cause me and him, I don't want to go to heaven anytime soon, but me and him finna talk about this. We finna talk about this, Lord, because for 2 years, this man, I'm talking about 50 pounds overweight. It was like 10 pounds, 20 pounds, 30 pounds. It would not stop. Then at the 54-pound cuff, I said, oh, hell nah. I was like, I'm just saying, I gotta be myself. I really didn't look at me. I was like, whoa. Buddy.
So you said after you got lipo, you gained weight.
Let me tell you what happened. Wait, let me tell you the story. We almost done. This is good because the girls that want to go on that table, let me tell you. Because what happened is the first time I called my mom, I was like, Mama, I was like, I done did something bad. I did something bad, Mama. I did something bad, Ma. She said, what did you do? She started praying in tongues and stuff. I said, I can't. I'm leaking everywhere. I just leak it. I'm in a recovery house. I'm just, Ma, I might die. Right? And I'm like, and I remember being in that house and like everybody's bleeding. I said, oh my God.
You said everybody was bleeding?
It was bad. I then fell out and everything. And I was by myself. And then my boyfriend at the time that paid for it, he met me in Miami, and I'll never forget. He got a nice condo for us, and I'm leaking everything. He looked at me like he was disgusted. And I'm like, you don't love me. You don't love me like this. And he's looking at me like grossed out. I was talking about, I got the thing hanging. He's like, I was like, give me a hug. And we talked about this. He was just grossed out, right? He said, you had stuff coming out everywhere. He's like, he was just gross.
How many holes did you have?
It was 2. So fast forward, I get robbed, and I had this bright idea because the show was about to air, and I said, I'm finna get lipo again. But this go around, I'm gonna get lipo on my arms, lipo, and I was like, I'm doing my big one this go around, right? You thought you tried to take me out last time? I'm gonna do my research on this. I'm not going to Colombia or all those other places. I'm going right here in Houston, God, I'm not going to Miami. I'm going right here in Houston. That's what I'm going to do. You're going to bless this one. So, and my boyfriend, he was like, I love you like you are. He was like, you don't need it, but whatever you want. It's crazy. And I was like.
Every man don't like, I mean, you'll find the majority of men that say they do not see why women do that.
And let me tell you the trauma I put that man through at that time. Because imagine I was by myself the first time. It was talking about Nightmare on Elm Street. Okay, so listen. This one almost took me out though. So fast forward, real story. I go to the doctor. I say, do this, and the doctor's like, you don't really need it. But I said, listen.
I'm paying you.
I've been here this before. I got the money to do it. He overcharged me. It's me and this girl that we're not friends anymore, but she went and did her big one too. That's not the story. Because I'm always, listen, we big ones together, okay? All right. She got something different. I'm gonna save it. Okay, sis. But okay. But all right. So we're gonna talk about Nathalie because I'm gonna take accountability. Okay? I'm in a different space in my life. So we go.
And the doctor telling you don't need it.
Babe, we go date. We like lipo twins. She did her little thing or whatever. She got some other stuff. But then I get lipo on my thighs, right? Then I say, take this out my butt. Because it was on the top.
Oh, you remove what the other man put?
Because big butts is not it. Like, so I was like, I'm thinking I'm about to be this like Kim Kardashian skinny girl. Like, in my mind, I'm like, yeah, okay. Take it from there, take it from there, take it from here. Just lipo me down, right? Light me down. I'm mad right now. I go get braids. I get my recovery braids because I'm like, I'm not going to do my hair. I'm going to just be on Instagram Live making money. And God said, I done gave you millions of dollars in this network marketing stuff from health and wellness, and you really do help people lose weight. Why don't you just detox your body, baby? Baby, why you want to do this? So I go ahead. I lay on this table. I get lipo. And when I tell you, now, this is when I had to recommit my life to Jesus. Because this was the one. This wasn't, usually people have other type of trauma. This was the trauma that I needed. I got a nurse coming to the house. This time, this is like a rich lipo. Yeah. This is like, I'm not staying in no house. I'm in my house, right? So I'm in the house.
He said rich lipo.
The first go around, I'm passing out. It's bad. I got a nurse and everything. I'm passing out. She on one side, I'm on this side. I'm throwing up. It's bad. I'm like, oh my God. I call my mom. Mom, don't be mad at me, please. Because I know you love Jesus and I know your prayers work. Mom, I'm going to give you everybody's number. I'm putting you in a group chat. I think I'm going to die this time. Mommy, please help me. Right? I'm like hyperventilating everything. So what happened was my body rejected because my cortisol levels, I didn't go get it checked. My cortisol levels were like half of the rate. So my body was in a severe trauma. Remember, I had PTSD. My whole blood stream was whacked out, right? So fast forward, my body gained, at this point I was only 30 pounds overweight. My body gained 24 pounds after lipo.
How long after?
I'm talking about, it was bad. It kept getting 1 pound, 1, 2, 3, 4. Like,
over what period? A month or 2 months or what?
No, like it was going up every month. So mind you, I did it in like April. But September, and listen, I looked at my birthday photos. I said, because I wanted to look nice on my birthday. That was my plan, right? My birthday and the TV show, I just knew it was going to add up. Because they said TV adds 15 more pounds. Yeah. So I thought that I was going to be big fine. And I was Big Bertha, okay? And I was big as hell. Like, I'm like, whoa, buddy, this is a big type of girl. So mind you, what happened was, this is traumatic, okay? So listen, that's when I gave my life to Christ. That's when I joined the gym. Literally, like, I would say this, like, I'm talking about, I couldn't even pick up nothing. He had to do everything. I'm like, this is not it. I'm crying, I'm bleeding. I'm like, this is bad. But then what I did notice, in my husband, I'm not saying that's him, in my husband, that was a very low point in my life. I need to know, can you be there for me? Because the last one was trying to ditch. Okay. This one is like, you're beautiful. You look nice. It'll be okay. You can do it. And I'm like, I hate life right now. So mind you, I already am hating my life. Yeah. I'm scared of my own shadow. So imagine you can't walk to the bathroom, but you're scared. I remember I'm like,
you can't walk to the bathroom.
I'm waking him up like, can you go to the bathroom with me? I can't walk over there because I'm scared the people gonna be out there. You know, so it's a lot going on. So
the people gonna be out there.
It was vague. We laugh now, but fast forward. I'm telling you right now, I'm gonna get up because I look good. You see this? Okay. Zoom in. Okay. Legs are leggy. Okay.
You said legs are leggy?
My boots never will go up. They're calving. And the butt is smaller, but I lost weight. I'm looking good. But the face is slimming. No Botox, nothing. Okay? Okay? Because listen, they listen. I'm gonna leave it here. That's why you have to trust God.
Yeah.
Because I literally said to myself, the comments, they would beat me up. They're like, you are bigger than ever. And oh my. So that's where body dysmorphia came in. But I was getting bullied on the internet. Like, body shaming was in full effect. I thought them other girls got body shamed. Baby, I was the body shamed one. I could have been the president because it was really bad. And I was like, oh no, I don't want to post. Then I started trying to edit my photos. And I'm like, I don't want the wall to be caved in. It was just... I said, oh, we gotta go to the gym. So I got my blood work done. I started changing my life, changing my eating habits, everything. And I'm gonna tell you this. I laugh, but I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna tell you this right now. I'm looking at you right now. I could have done it again. I didn't know. I'm not gonna do it. My weight loss journey has not been easy. It's a fight.
Of course.
But it's discipline. It's obedience. And my husband needs a disciplined woman. My husband needs an obedient woman. My husband needs a woman that honors her money. My husband needs whole Nathalie, not surface Nathalie. And that's another lesson from Nathalie.
So you just stood up. You showed the people your body. You're not happy with your body right now?
I love my body.
Okay. Why you say it's still a struggle? You still trying to lose more?
No. So when you are on your weight loss journey, people don't understand this. You can food is food. People think they're going to just be fine forever. That is not how that works. Baby, you have that discipline. I love food. I just went to Turkey leg hut the other day, but so let me tell you why. I have been passing these tests every day. So I went to Willie G's in Houston. I met up with, a friend at Turkey leg hut. I had the option to eat a Willie G's, which I did, and to act like I never ate, which I would have done back in the day. And when
that turkey leg hut,
I didn't do it.
So you just ate at one place?
I know. So we ordered food. I ate a little bit, but I was like, man, I got to come back when I'm hungry. And that might be a small test, but that was a test.
Oh, that's a test.
Yeah, because I'm in the gym, I'm working out, I'm feeling good, I'm detoxing. I just know that this next dimension, God needs this for me. This is what he needs from me. This Nathalie right here.
Listen, I love your stories. So y'all can see why a 30-minute conversation turned into 2 hours. Because
we are friends for life because we be cracking up. I love talking like this though, because think about, I had no one to talk about this with. So that's why even on Instagram, people are like, well, why don't you talk about branding? It's like, I want to talk about, that's my Instagram and my TikTok and my Facebook is my assignment. It's my ministry. So me being myself, you're going to love me for what I'm giving you. Yeah. Yes, I'm going to put some branding in there, those different things, but this is my social media. So I'm going to do my big one on there.
Because it's your social media. Like
exactly.
You said, do what you want to do. Well, listen, man, I've totally enjoyed talking to you. I'm sorry.
I just thought about the call to my mom.
When you gotta call your mom, so I think I'm gonna die. I'm dying this time. But your mom like, this crazy girl keep paying people to put her in this pain.
Right. She said this about 4 months. I'm leave it here because you probably watch. I love my mama. She was like, she said she's proud of me, and she says, you're not gonna go back and do that again, right?
Say in her accent. How she say it?
Nathalie, I'm very. She speaks English but Trinidadian. I'm very proud of you. Like, I'm very proud of you. And I talk back to like, yes, girl, yes, you know? And I like show her my body, like, because I'm so proud of myself because I have the money to do a lot of different things. And God and that's why he's blessing me. That's like he's blessing me. So that's why this conversation, we're going to do more of these. I don't know what God has for us. Because I think that, again, I want to give you your flowers because men can get that. It's like what you're doing is God's work and you're freeing the people. People are going to be able to love again, feel whole again, feel worthy again, feel confident again, even after pain. After pain, there's beauty in ashes. There's beauty. Listen, and I'm going to say this. When you told me your story, and I don't judge anybody because I listen to your podcast. The fact that you can show up as a man, no matter what you're fighting, and trust in God, and you still have a spirit of excellence on this podcast, I'm so proud of you.
I appreciate that.
It's amazing. Everything has been amazing.
I appreciate that. That means a lot. Did you see my Healing from Heartbreak episode?
Yes. It was... Everything has been good, but I think that men need that because a lot of men are afraid to they're afraid to really commit to therapy. Yeah. They say they go and it's like, boy, go back.
And they're afraid to be transparent and vulnerable. Yes. And so I was to much surprise, a lot of men, when they see me out and about, they'll walk up to me and be like, brother, say, man, yeah, we've been there before. He said, bro, I don't know how you did it, to be in front of everybody like that and share that. But, man, I felt like you were speaking on my behalf, and that's what means the most.
But that's what, and I'm going to leave it here because we can go all day. That's why podcasts, social media is needed because here's the deal. The enemy is always going to use whatever is vulnerable to distract the minds of the people and 100%. The hearts of the people. So you're going to have media that's going to make you feel like you're not worthy. And I see all this bashing online. Yeah. And I'm like, all right, Nathalie. So the reason why I am relaunching my podcast and my show is not because I need the money for this. It's because I got to do God's work. So what we're doing right now, I got when the woman is in the corner wanting to kill herself, or the woman gets in a breakup, or she's in a happy marriage, or the woman that is, about to have a baby, but she feels like she doesn't have enough and she's not sure, she's going to come to my show and all the shows that I'm on right now because I am fighting against whatever else that people think is important in my life. Yeah. I'm literally telling God, give me the strength, give me the bandwidth to show up for your people right now. That's good. So that's how we got to show up.
That's good. Have you come up with the name of this podcast you're going to relaunch?
Yes. So the name, just like I've changed my major 5 times. So better believe this.
You changed your major 5 times?
Howard University allowed me to change my major 5 times. I graduated with a public relations and a business degree. So I'm proud of myself for that. But I changed it 5 different times. It was rough now.
You said right? 5 times.
5 times.
So this podcast name, is this what you set on, or you think gonna change?
No, listen.
All right. So what's the name of it?
I not only changed my store name in the Galleria. This it. Because God's in it.
What's the name of it, Nathalie?
The podcast is called For Every Woman.
For Every Woman.
For Every Woman.
And I absolutely love it. And what would the podcast talk about?
Man, we're not boxed in anymore, y'all. I'm coming out. Listen, it's going to be good because I was boxed into branding. So it's going to be everything for women. Like the people that we have that's already confirmed, it is going to be crazy. From love, from beauty, from money, from branding, from lifestyle, from travel. I have pastors. I have so many people coming on, and
I like that you got different people from different categories. Yeah,
this one is going to be. It's going to help a lot of women and men because I have men as my guests too. Because you're going to be on my podcast as well.
Amen.
And it's going to create a lot of belief in men and women. It's going to change your lives.
Good.
I'm excited.
When are you going to launch it? I like holding people accountable. So when are you going to launch it?
I'm telling you right now, I'm launching it on Women's Day.
That's March the 12th.
So I'm doing a whole week now. Now y'all know my business. Let's talk about it. Yeah. So I'm going on tour for Women's Month, and I'm going to 10 different cities that month.
Women's Month is March, right?
It's next month. It's already locked in. I'm going on tour because remember Jesus went from town to town to town. So I'm going to town to town to see my people and to connect with my women. And it'll be like small listening parties. I already partnered up with several businesses, and I'm excited about it because every time you think you got to do something really big, I'm doing something big, I'm doing something small too. So International Women's Day, I'm having a private invite-only event at my store in Houston, Texas. And that's when we're opening up the store. Plush RX is now in Embody, the premier self-care brand for women. And then we're also going to launch my actual podcast live in Atlanta, Georgia on March 12th. March 12th.
You got some work to do.
I'm ready.
Let's get it.
I'm ready. I'm equipped. I'm built for this.
Let's get it. Listen, I hope y'all enjoyed Nathalie as much as I have. Y'all give it up for my new homie, Nathalie Nicole.
Yes, we locked in.
We locked in. There it is, y'all.
Ladarian, thrusted suddenly into Child Protective Services in 2015. My nephew, Black, a boy. The likelihood of being adopted outside of kinship, slim to none. Armani, 16 years old, Black, a boy, with 5 years in the foster care system before I even knew his name. The likelihood of ever being adopted, yep, you guessed it, slim to none. While Ladarian and Armani were trying to survive and barely thrive in an overpopulated and underfunded foster care system, I was living my own life, doing well professionally. Having been a single father with a daughter who at that point was doing well in college, it was my time to live my life, right? Wrong. I felt unsettled, tireless, agitated. There are just too many of our Black children stuck in ambiguity and in the limbo of the foster care system. In 2017, I legally adopted my nephew, Ladarian. Fast forward to 2019, I had no ties to this other young king, but I felt God instructed me to adopt him also, and I obeyed. Starting over with parenting should have been enough, right? Working with various foster care and adoption agencies to help bring awareness to the countless young Black kings in the foster care system should have decreased my agitation, right? Joining the board of directors of Advantage Adoption, an organization that helps find permanent adoptive homes for children in foster care, should have led to some type of resolve, right? No, not at all. None of it felt like I had done enough. I now realize that every one of those experiences was laying the fundamental foundation for my life's mission, Kingdom Royale. Kingdom Royale will be a luxury, state-of-the-art home for foster boys. Our first location will be in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. We will utilize the whole person approach that instills identity, empowers them to advocate for themselves, and enlightens them regarding new perspectives and limitless options that they thought were impossible. Though the young kings will attend the local public schools that are in proximity to Kingdom Royale, our at-home curriculum will broaden their worldview through participating in the arts, attending various cultural events, learning about and engaging in multifaceted discussions about current events and even relevant historical context, introducing them to gardening and landscaping and even caring for our animals on our farm and on-site stables. We just launched our Startup Capital campaign with the goal of raising $2.8 million. Now, why $2.8 million? Well, in 2017, I created a web series in which I performed random acts of kindness for targeting the homeless community. One of the most notable successes was that one of the videos went viral, garnering 28 million views. However, one of my biggest regrets is that I didn't raise a single dollar to help in implementing a more sustainable plan for the homeless community. So throughout the years, with much remorse, I reflected on not maximizing that moment. I knew if at that time, just 10% of the viewers donated $1, we would have raised at least $2.8 million that could have really established long-term support for the homeless community, or at least started a long-term initiative to do so. This is my do-over. This is our new beginning. Together, we can attack this at the root by specifically helping our homeless Black boys who are already disproportionately represented in the American foster care system. I'm Latera R. Whitfield. I've been nominated for 3 regional Emmys documenting my work with the homeless as well as my personal adoption journey. Despite those accolades, the greatest award for me is truly providing the infrastructure for a transformed life. Visit kingdomroyale.com for more details. Crown a king and make a donation today.
You know what? I thought originally I was going to have a couple for the podcast for Valentine's Day, or at least after Valentine's. But I think the majority of my demographic are single women. And so I think it was by God's design that Nathalie was here for this episode to show y'all what it looks like to live on purpose, in purpose, for a purpose as a woman. And so I hope y'all found value in this episode. Well, here's my favorite part of the podcast where I speak to my future wifey. Dear future wifey, did V-Day make you feel insignificant, lonely, or unworthy? I sure hope not. You are complete without me. Two halves don't make a whole in matters of the heart. You exude power and femininity. Your addition to my life is a long-awaited and anticipated answered prayer. Valentine's Day is cool, but it will never define how much I love you. It will never define if you are loved. The other 364 days of the year will be spent investing in your heart with the currency of time, attention, and prioritization. I will show you through random touches of wellness checks to confirm you are real and the dream hasn't ended. I get excited about the knowing. Knowing you and I are each other's greatest earthly blessing. You are my destiny helper. I am you, and you are me. Happy belated Valentine's Day. Your future hubby.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Dear Future Wifey podcast. Remember, be lit, live intentionally and transparently, and don't stop loving.
Make sure to subscribe to our Dear Future Wifey YouTube channel. We're available on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and Stitcher. We welcome your support. Simply share our podcast with your friends and family.